So hello. Welcome back to the Ground Cinnamon. Yes, the Ground Cinnamon. I'm back. I don't know after how many years, but I'm back. And I lost my mic. Actually, it's with Abel. So Abel, please give me my mic back. So I'm starting a new series, and it's called Bruh, Where's My Stock? So I'm going to show you in the subsequent episodes, about 10 of them, hopefully, what to make with stock. So stock is foundational. It is this magical liquid gold to make some amazing, to elevate your food. You want to make sauces like a chef. You want to make a risotto. You want to make good pasta dishes. You need stock. But this episode, you're going to consider it a bit of a prequel because I'm going to show you where to get the bones from. And for that, I'm going to show you how to debone an entire chicken. Debone it. Okay, so here we are. To start off, you need a wet paper towel to place under your cutting board so it doesn't move. You also want a bowl or a plate to place your pieces. Here is our skin on chicken. And as you see, this is the back, the legs, and these 2 points over here bulging out are called the oysters, apparently the softest part of the bird. There are 2 wings, and as we turn it over, of course, the breast. I'm starting with the legs. And as you can see, I'm using a very sharp knife. Alright, here I want to give my heartfelt apology to my beloved Chef Cowan, who, if he sees that I'm using a dull knife to cut or rather debone a chicken, he's going to fly down from Canada and murder me with the same piece of knife. You want to cut the skin to release the legs. And down here, between the rib and the leg, here also there's a little bit of flesh. You want to cut that, and that will completely release the leg. Now once you turn it over, feel for the joint, the hip joint between the thigh and the hip, and give it a twist. Once that's done, you want to begin to carve around the meat, really close to the bone. And as you go around, it'll release pretty easy. Don't forget those oysters, really tasty. Now it's going to be all really easy until you hit the bone, this bone. And now you want to cut the joint. So the joint is made of cartilage and you can cut it. Bone is not. So use your knife to feel for the cartilage, the joint, and it should go through like so. And now the wings. The wings have 3 parts: drummet, wing, and wingette. This little thing is called a wingette. It has no meat. So look for the joint and simply cut it off. This should ideally go into your stock pot, but it's too fatty for that. So between the drummet and the wing, also there's a joint, and the knife, once you get the joint that is, should simply go through. And there we have it, chicken wings. Okay, you'd be wondering why I left the drummet on. So I just want to say we are a little fancy, and we're not going to make just any chicken breast. We're going to make a Frenched chicken breast. What is a Frenched chicken breast, you may ask? And that is, the breast has the drummet attached onto it. Why? Because it's fancy. Now moving on to the breast. Firstly, for the breast, you want to feel for the breastbone. It's right in the middle. And using your very sharp knife, you want to make these long cuts along the breastbone. One of the sides will open up. And as you cut, you'll hit this really annoying wishbone. The wishbone is this V-shaped bone that sort of holds the 2 breasts together. So when you cut it, you'll feel this bone on top. A lot of chefs break it and then release it once the breast has been removed. I would suggest just yank it out. Once the wishbone is out, make these long cuts with your knife and follow the structure of the ribs. The closer you keep it to the ribs, the easier it'll get and the easier it'll release. And again, in a Frenched breast, you will encounter the joint between the drummet and the rib. So again, when you hit this joint, use your knife to feel for the cartilage and cut it. That's it. When you turn this over, you will see this piece, which is called a chicken tender. Again, it's very soft. It doesn't have as much flavor, but it's really soft. You could separate it or keep it on. Once separated, you can always deep fry it, make some chicken fingers. Frenched pieces have a drawback, and that is the use is pretty limited, and that's because it is 2 different kinds of meat. One is dark, the wing is dark meat, and the breast is light, so the time taken to cook is different. So separate it. There's no joint, just cut it off. Look at that beautiful drummet. Make some chicken wings. So we've almost deboned the entire chicken. We've got our breast, we've got our wings. The only thing left are the legs. There are bones in the legs. And here's the tricky part, but it's also pretty amazing. Turn the chicken legs over and you'll observe this line along the muscles. Use the edge of your knife to cut along this line. What this will do is release the two sides of the muscle. Again, use a sharp knife, guys. Use a very sharp knife. Life is so much easier. Continue doing this until you reach the tendon, which will be at the edge of the bones. At this point, here is the drumstick, and at this point you want to go around the joint and cut the tendon that is holding the muscle to the drumstick. And at the thigh side, use your knife and slide it underneath the bone and cut the tendon off. Then use the back of your knife and try to push all the meat towards the center, towards the joint. Repeat this process with the drumstick. Search for the tendon on the other side, cut it off, and once the meat has completely released from the bone, use the back of your knife to push it towards the center. Now you will have the entire piece of meat simply hanging off the knee joint. Here, there's only one tendon connecting the piece of meat with the bone. Search for it and cut it off. Like this, you will have a completely deboned piece of chicken leg. All of this while keeping the entire piece of meat intact. Now this could be marinated and you could have some amazing lunch, or you can cut this into bite-sized pieces because this piece of meat makes the best kebabs. And here we have it. 2 pieces of chicken legs, 2 wings, 2 drumettes, and 2 pieces of breast. Now what do you want to do with the skin? Are you health conscious? Take the skin and yank it out. But I'd say keep it on because it is delicious. On the other side of the chicken breast are the chicken tenders. These could be on, or you could remove them and make chicken fingers. They're extremely tender. But here is your assortment of deboned chicken. Right, so that is your assortment of deboned chicken. Some of you might be thinking, can you debone wings? No, you can't. It's barely 25% meat. You don't want to waste your time on deboning wings. But with these bones that I've collected, which includes the entire carcass and the leg bones, we're going to make some amazing stock in the next episode. Stay tuned to the Ground Cinnamon.